Mm-hmm.
600,000 international students from China.
Hello and welcome to My Two Cents. Today I want to take a look at one of the podcasters that I watch, one of the top guys I watch, Asmongold. And he recently showed a clip of Joy Reid and Nick Fuentes, showing their views on certain things. And then he gives a comment on the topic as well. And today they're on this particular clip that I'm going to show you, they're talking about China and education and students. So let's go ahead, take a look at this, and I'll show you my reaction and give you my 2 cents on it. There's some things in here that are true, and there's some things in here that I think they didn't see. So let's go ahead and take a look.
600,000 students from China. Are you tired of winning yet? Got what you voted for?
The reason y'all are so mad at me.
He's right. We shouldn't be accepting 600,000 students from China. I think that we should view exchange programs and things like that as the same as Trump views trade. If they want to bring all of their people over here, we should have our people going over there too. That's the reason. Why not? Because those
Let's
spots.
Let's just cover something here. First of all, when China sends people over here, they're sending over people from the military, and they're sending over their elites, their upper class, people that are involved with the government. They are not sending over their middle class people, their working class, or their lower class at all. Over here, he's talking about us sending over regular, citizens and middle class students, the same people that get ripped off over here. That's not why China's sending all those people over to Ivy League schools. It reminds me of what Japan did before World War II. They sent all their diplomats' children and their military personnel over to our better schools to learn. So, I mean, they're missing the point here of what China is sending here and its affiliation to schools like Harvard. Harvard, who, by the way, has billions of dollars in endowment money, so much money, they're currently out in California trying to bind up all the land they can with water rights. So they don't have to charge anybody anything. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say next.
And those resources should be reserved for Americans. And I want to see American universities and I want to see American opportunities be reserved for Americans primarily. And I don't care whether the Chinese people put in more money. I don't care how much they're paying for tuition. What I do care about is the fact that these universities exist in America. They are benefiting from the American economy. They receive money from the federal and state government. And I think because of that, they need to operate in the best interest of America. And I would never criticize another country for having the exact same perspective. If China said, we don't want Americans coming over here and studying because we want to make sure that we have our resources that are allocated for our people, I would say I totally respect that and I understand it. For some reason, people in America are buck-broken, basically, and convinced that they have to give away all of their resources to the rest of the world. And that everybody in the world has a right to the American.
Well, I just don't think that's true. I don't think that Americans want to give away their resources to the rest of the world. I think that the people that are in charge are telling all of us that we need to give our resources away because we all have so much. And again, they're missing the point of education. There's not a country on this planet that has education there for the benefit of the working class. They are not there for that. They are there to control you and give you a narrative. Just look at medicine and big pharma, okay? There should be stem cell therapy and people getting stem cell shots everywhere, okay? This is accepted science. You can Google it yourself. Mel Gibson's dad getting stem cells. And yet you need people to go to school to be a doctor, and yet that's who's in charge of that education, big pharma. So, and these schools are there, yes, they're there to make money, and they don't need the money from foreigners. They don't need China's elite money at all for this. That's a bullshit lie. It's not. They're doing this for other reasons, for more than just monetary, because they get all the money they want through federal funding. Let's just face it. The same people that make these decisions are the same people that are tied into the Federal Reserve, a Federal Reserve which is not part of the federal government, which charges us interest to print our own money. And then on top of it all, the money doesn't go to the Americans or anything that benefits this country. It goes to the same people. It filters its way back in and is used for an agenda that benefits the same people that are printing the money. It's a big fucking scam. And most 90% of this country should not be in college. This is a lie they keep pushing. Okay? Most people should learn how to read and write and math, and then you get on-the-job training. That's where you learn the job, okay? School was where the real world was. That was where you prepped for the real world, okay? We need people with skills. We need people that are willing to, be labor, but we also need companies that are willing to pay a livable wage and respect the worker, okay? We don't have that anymore. So, the whole thing with schools is such a big fucking scam. I got burnt on the student loan scam. It was the only way I could afford to go back to school. I went to community college, still paying on it 15 years later. So, let's go ahead and watch a little bit more of this here, and then we'll wrap it up.
Economy. Everybody in the world has a right to American citizenship, and everybody in the world has a right to American lifestyles, which is just simply not true. I don't have a problem with Chinese people coming over here. That's fine. It's whatever. But to just categorically say that you're going to have a huge amount of them that are going to come over from these universities and be in these universities. Meanwhile, you have people here who can't afford a university. You have people here who can't get into university. What world are we living in that we are allowing these universities that, again, benefit from public funding? These universities exist because the United States is such a powerful institution. And now they're giving away their resources and their value to foreign people.
Okay, well, let me just say this. First of all, Asmongold, very successful guy, very smart in business, definitely knows what he's doing, very dedicated, puts up loads of content. So, but he's missing the point. He's missing the point of education, and he's the reason why so many people can't afford college is because of that student loan scam. They gave these schools a license to charge outrageous amounts, all kinds of book scams, and then the biggest lie is that they tell everybody from a childhood on that if you don't go to school, college, you're not going to be able to earn a livable wage, when really it's just putting you in debt for the rest of your life. Okay? And it's not there for our benefit. It's not. It's being used against Americans to put them in debt, to control them, and create another agenda. We see all the radicalness that's created within these schools. We have more people now with a college education, and yet as a country, we seem to be dumber and worse off. Our economy is going to shit. Our brightest minds go to Wall Street. They're not helping out with the economy. We do not help Americans here at all get ahead. Like I said, we're not teaching skills. We're not paying livable wages. The whole reason why, I'd like to know, why is China sending so many people here, knowing that the type of people that they send? And who else is doing this? What other countries are utilizing our elite schools? To give you an idea of how much school costs now, when I was in high school, a movie came out called Soul Man, with C. Thomas Howell, I believe his name is, right? And he takes these pills to make his skin tan, so that way he can get into Harvard and get qualified for some kind of grant or funding for it, right? Well, for him to go to Harvard for 4 years, all expenses paid, education, books, place to live, food, all that, for 4 years was $40,000. Okay, my current student loan bill from going to community college after paying on it for 15 years currently stands at $95,000. And if you look at what these major universities are charging and how much they're putting those people in debt, some of those people are going into debt for what, $250,000, $1 million. Rich people, they pay for the education up front. or they use it as a tax write-off if the parents are paying for it. The working man is the one that's being lied to and put into that kind of debt. So the reason why I bring all that up is because they're talking about how people are upset that they can't afford these things, and we're giving away all these resources. Well, yeah, because there's an agenda, and they don't want you to be able to afford it. And if you do, go get forced into this, they want you in debt for the rest of your life, to make you a slave, because when we look at the digital world that's coming, AI, robotics, all that, they want, once we're on a digital currency, okay, you're going to be at the mercy of the same people who are indoctrinating people in schools. I think we need to get away from this whole idea of sending people to college. We need workers. We need people with their skills. We need people that can read and write. We need people that don't want to be on the government tit. Okay? Welfare is a big fucking scam. All government programs are there for a reason, and it's not to help the poor. Okay? I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to start doing more of these where I break down things I see on podcasts of popular people. I think, again, there's things about Asmongold that I agree with. There's things that, like many of us, we just don't see the big picture yet. There's things that I've experienced and things that I know from my life experience that he might not. And there's plenty of things that we all can learn from him. So until the next video, that's just my 2 cents. Thank you for your time.